I don't know if you miss me, but here I am, and I know that I haven't posted in a while, but I'm not gonna start to complain right now about the fact that I don't have time to make YouTube videos because I have other things that are more important, and YouTube kind of fell down on that priority list. Instead, today we're gonna talk about the a7IV, actually my thoughts on the a7IV, because the a7IV is not out yet. But before, I just want to take this thing out of my chest. You know when I said that I'm working on a special something? I don't know if you know, I think it was in the last video. Well, I'm still working on the special something, but I can't really talk about it. So that's why today we're gonna talk about the a7IV. I know that the a7IV is not out yet and I don't know when it's gonna be out, but let me tell you what I want from the a7IV. So this thing right here, this is my baby, this is my workhorse, this is my a7III. I pre-ordered this thing when it came out and I waited like 5 or 6 months until I got my hands on it because it was sold out everywhere in the world. And don't get me wrong, this is still a beast of a camera, this is still like a relevant camera in 2021, but I want something more, and I'm waiting for the a7IV to see if that camera is gonna give me what I want. So first things first, I'm gonna start with the grip over here. I want a larger grip, the same one as the a7R4. I would love that. Another thing that I don't like about the a7III are these like flimsy doors over here. If you're running and gunning, if you're like pulling a cable and you're not careful enough, you're gonna like break those and then your ports will be exposed, and I don't really like that. I hope that on the a7IV we're gonna see those like clicky kind of doors that we saw on the a7S III. Another thing that I would love to be changed on the a7IV is the screen, and I know that Sony made this camera like from cheaper materials and they use like a cheaper screen, but I hope that we're gonna get like a better resolution screen on the a7IV. Now, talking about the screen, we really need the vari-angle like touch screen, fully articulating flippy screen, whatever you want to call it. We need it, and we need it with full touch screen capabilities, not only with touch to focus, because that thing drives me nuts already. And also we need the new menus from the a7S III. Another thing that is going to be different on the a7IV than the a7 III, at least from my opinion, I think is going to be the sensor size. And not that this like 24 megapixel sensor size is bad or something. This is more than enough for a lot of people and for a lot of stuff that you want to do. But I think that Sony is going to go like over 30, maybe 32, maybe 34, somewhere around that. And I'm really curious how that thing is going to perform in low light, because let's face it, if you're gonna like buy a Sony camera, of course you're gonna shoot a lot in low light and you're gonna be interested in that. The 4K 30 in the a7 III and the 120 in 1080 is more than enough for a lot of people, and it was more than enough for me until this point, but I would love to have the 4K 60 with no overheating issue, no cropping or something like that, because it's giving me a lot of flexibility in post. Two more things that I would love to see in the a7IV: a new EVF, because this one is a little bit outdated. This one came out, like I said, in 2018. And the killer AF from the a7S III. So just imagine if you find the a7 III snappy, just imagine that thing is even better. Another thing that I would love to see in the a7IV is better IBIS. Not that the IBIS in the a7 III is bad, this was great when it came out, and if you pair this thing with like a lens with optical steady shot inside, your footage was great. But at some point you still needed a gimbal. So now that I'm starting to shoot more and more handheld, I hope that I'm gonna have better IBIS in the body, because I bought a lot of lenses that are not like stabilized, so it is what it is. Okay, and the last two things that I have on my list: 10-bit 422. I'm not sure that we're gonna get it, but I hope that we're gonna get it, because that thing is gonna help like the videographers a lot for color grading and having like a larger spectrum of color. And the second thing, S-Cinetone. Again, I'm not sure that we're gonna get it, but I hope that we're gonna get it. And if not, if we're not gonna get it from the start, from the beginning, I hope that we're gonna get it along the way with the software update. Okay, so now that I finished rambling about the features that I would love to have in the a7IV, let's talk about the price. When the a7 III came out, this thing was like $2,000 and it was packed with features. If Sony is gonna like put the a7IV out for $2,500, I would immediately buy that camera. I hope that it's gonna be on the same level with the R6 and they're not gonna make it like more expensive than that, because then I don't think if a lot of people are gonna be like so eager to take that thing, and I think they're gonna like wait a little bit longer and they're gonna go for the a7S III, or even more than that, they're gonna go for the FX3. So I hope it's gonna be like around $2,500. So that's it, people. This is the video. Thanks for tuning in. You're a real OG if you stayed until the final thoughts of my like breaking down on the a7IV. Thanks for like listening to me rambling about a new camera that is not even out yet. And let's make it a little bit more interesting. You can tell me in the comments down below what specs do you think the a7IV is gonna have, and we'll see when this camera is gonna be out if we guessed it or not. That being said, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.